Anyways, we talked for 3 hours, Natasha and I. Andrew wanted to have a group meeting at 8. The group meeting is to gang up on me. I put in the group chat, if this is going to be a gang up, if we ain't talking business, I'm not doing it. Because by now I'm tired of the verbal abuse by my business partner. We're not doing this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Natasha has reassured me for 3 hours. I am not a problem. Andrew is in his feelings, and he doesn't like to be called out. I couldn't agree more, friend. And I'm glad that you're my friend and that you have my back when he's calling me all these negative things when my concerns are valid. Friend, your concerns are valid, and you're an amazing woman, an amazing person. And I love you. And I'm like, okay, if my friend tells me I ain't tripping and I'm not a bitch, and she's telling me, I love when you speak up. You're the business one. You know things I don't know. Then I'm not going to change. Because at this point, me and Natasha agree that it's you, Andrew. So he wants to have a group chat at 8. Me and Natasha get off the phone. At 7:58, Andrew texts and said, I'll be calling you guys in 2 minutes. He was right on time. 8 o'clock, he called. Immediately. So about the messages earlier. And he just immediately went in on me. He said that anytime we have an argument, who's the common denominator? I thought, well, me and you. I don't argue by myself. Me and Natasha ain't never argued. You and Natasha ain't never argued. You always be calling the group meetings where I get cussed at. So if I'm always the one in the argument, it's you too. He said I bring all the negativity to the group. And when he said that, I started to shut down because we're not doing this. We weren't on the phone for 2 minutes before he went in on me. I am not your child. I'm not one of your students. I'm not your wife. I'm not your girlfriend. You're not going to talk to me like this anymore. You're not going to call me names. Nobody else in my whole life has ever called me negative. You're the first one. So no, that's not who I am. I'm not going to allow you to attack my character because I have valid concerns in business. And you the one getting your feelings. So I immediately, because I had just got off the phone with Natasha for 3 hours, I said, Natasha, full confidence. Natasha, do you agree that I bring all the negativity to the group? She said yes. We spent 3 hours on the phone having a heart-to-heart with Natasha saying the complete opposite. She got on the phone with Andrew and said yes. I was so shocked. I didn't know what else to say other than they are ganging up on me. And I realized then what it really was, what the situation was. I couldn't deny it anymore. The funny acting, Natasha acting funny, not talking to me, not coming around anymore, and making excuses about it, saying she had just been busy. Because Natasha wanted to be my business partner before. She wanted to be a team in real estate. I didn't want to do the team thing because I work better alone. And I didn't think that Natasha was a good businesswoman. I didn't trust her, which is why when I told Andrew I was going to do the partnership with him, I said, if Natasha does it, I have to do the back end stuff. Because she's always maintained that she never wanted the responsibility as of a broker. She was always happy being an agent. Now all of a sudden she saw me getting ready to start a broker with Andrew. The same opportunity that she was presented with and she turned down. She was ghosting him. And she was telling me that she was ghosting him. She didn't want to do it. But then she wanted to do it when I did it. And then the plan was I was going to hold her hand through broker school because she didn't think she could pass the test. I take tests really well. So I was going to hold her hand through broker school. And then she was just like, so I realized what the situation really was. And I had been trying to tell myself that it wasn't that. But when she said yes, and I swear, y'all, we had just gotten off the phone for 3 hours talking about all of these things with her reassuring me. Go back and watch the short that Natasha did when she was sick. She had COVID, and I hopped in the car and went to her house. Natasha begged me to do a testimony and to post it to the Busset Babies so she can tell you guys how amazing I was. This is the same dynamic we had, but every time she got on the phone with Andrew, she would agree with him. And when he would say that I was the negative one in the group, I was flabbergasted. And at this point, I couldn't take it anymore because Andrew was going off on me. And the only reason I asked Natasha to co-sign me is because I wanted her to say, no, Andrew, she's not negative. Only then would Andrew fall back, because he always liked to bring Natasha in. Unbeknownst to me, it was because he knew she was going to agree with him. I didn't know, because personally, she was always agreeing with me. And so the first thing that came to my mind was, no, we are not doing this. I am done. And I hung up the phone. The next day, that night, I saw that we have a shared note. In our notes, you can share access to your notes. It's where we kept all of our passwords. I create all of our accounts. I'm the registered agent for the business. I created our social media. I created our email, our webs, all of that stuff. I created the logo, the name for the business. Everything is Dina coded. And so as the registered agent and the one who set up all the accounts for everything, I created all the passwords. So I shared the passwords with them so that they can have access to things. When I saw that night, it was like 11:30, I'm in bed, and I see a notification that the permission for our shared notes with our password was removed from me. I no longer had access to it. And Andrew is petty. He's a petty Scorpio. He knows good and well that I created all those passwords, so I don't need access to the notes because I created them all. I know them by heart. I figured he did that so that I could see that he was taking that access away from me. Andrew is petty. I know that by now. That's why I stopped messing with him. And so I shrugged it off. I went to bed. I said, I'm going to call him tomorrow and figure out why he did that, because something don't seem right to me. Called him the next day. It was like 2 o'clock. He was still at work. He sounded a little nervous. He said, I'm going to call you when I get home. Because I said, Andrew, I noticed last night, that you removed, and I was laughing about it because I thought he was being petty. I noticed last night that you removed, removed me from the passwords, knowing I know them all by heart. So I was trying to figure out, what do you have going on? He sounded nervous, and he said he would call me when he got home because this was too heavy. And I was like, the fuck is he talking about too heavy? Honestly, I was so used to getting cussed at on the phone, and by now, that was like the second time Natasha had thrown me under the bus. The first time she did it, I let it slide, but this time was hurtful. But I was willing to let it slide because I'm just as invested in this business. I've invested my own personal money in this business, my own juju. Y'all saw that day I did my live. Y'all saw one of those crowns of success I did was for my business. So my blood, sweat, tears, and juju was invested into that. So I was going to take what I was dealing with them for the sake of the bigger picture. Well, Natasha didn't call me at all that day afterwards. Andrew called me back that night. It was like 10 o'clock that night, and we started out the conversation laughing and joking. Because I was just like, that was so petty how you removed that from me, knowing that I created all the passwords. Boy, I know them by heart. So you were trying to be petty. And he was like, Adina, you hurt me. I was like, hurt you? For one, I didn't even know his feelings were involved. Natasha said they were, but I didn't. I didn't believe they were. Because he was always talking about not getting our feelings involved once we start having sex with each other. And say less. I'm not a feeling ass bitch anyways. But he was like, Adina, you hurt me. I was like, hurt you? What the fuck did I do? For one, I didn't know I had the ability to hurt you. So when he said that, I had to take a step back because I was like, maybe he does have feelings for me. But he's been telling me that that's not what he wants from me. So I've been honoring that. If he had told me that he was starting to, and he did tell me he loved me, I didn't believe it. Because that came after him telling me how good my vagina was. So I didn't think he loved me for real. I just thought that he was sprung. And I get it, because they all get that way. It don't be love, it be the vagina, honey. You can't tell the difference. Sometimes it turns into love after you get the vagina because you never want to lose it. And that's what he was just like, you got some good ass coochie, girl. I knew that. That's why I didn't think that it was really love. I just thought that he really enjoyed my vagina. But he had started telling me he loved me outside of us saying in a group setting, because we would tell each other we love each other in the group all the time. But he was starting to say it personally. I didn't believe it. And unless you tell me that you want to be my boyfriend, I'm not gonna assume. You got to communicate that stuff with me, because what I don't do is rejection. So I'm not gonna assume a man wants something from me unless he tells me he does, so that later on he could be like, no, sugar. Oh, I didn't want to be your man. We was just kicking it. I'm going to always just kick it first until you tell me that you want something different. So when he said I hurt him, I was like, hurt you? All I did was tell you that I wasn't going to give you no more of my vagina. So I was like, well, Andrew, what did I do to hurt you? And I don't remember if he ever told me. He said it's because I wanted to leave the group, the business. I said, Andrew, I never said I quit. I said I was done with that conversation because you guys were ganging up on me. And what I wasn't going to do is allow you to talk to me any kind of way and allow Natasha to throw me under the bus, because I had just talked to her for 3 hours and she did not agree with you. I had concerns about her standing me up. I had concerns about the fact that she stopped talking to me. She stopped calling me, and then she tried to play it off like it's because we've all been busy. I am a psychic medium, and Natasha knows that. She knows what I'm capable of more than anybody. So for her to play me like I'm dumb, like she knows I don't know what's really going on, it was a little bit weird for me. That's why I was just like, something's going on with her.